Terrance Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. This is probably the best fight right now in boxing, in my opinion. Two high-level fighters. Canelo's been on top of the game for a long time. Terrance Crawford, I think, right now is the best boxer. He's not to compare him to Floyd, but he's like the new Floyd. You know what I'm saying? Except he's not like Floyd. He's very different than Floyd. I think he's probably better than Floyd Mayweather, to be honest. Floyd Mayweather in his prime. Terrance Crawford, right off the bat, what hits me different is, his backstory. His mom, like, really downed him and degraded him growing up. And he had that fire inside of him to really prove that he's something or he's more than, and that's what made him an incredible fighter. And you can see it when he fights. He fights like he's really trying to take you out. He's really trying to hurt you. And Canelo has that same thing as well. I could only assume, him growing up as a kid, being a light-skinned Mexican with red hair, he probably has a lot of that inside of him as well, that he just needs to prove something. And you can see it when he fights. Canelo's trying to take you out. He's not a point fighter. So this is going to be a great fight. I really see someone getting finished in this fight, and whoever wins this fight is probably right now, I would say, the pound for pound best boxer. What strikes me right off the bat between the difference between the two fighters is Canelo, he's very good, very technical, very aggressive. Crawford is very technical, but he has a lot of athleticism, a lot of explosion. He could have been a wrestler. He could have been an MMA fighter as well. He has great wrestling. There's been clips of him. So I'm going with Terrance Crawford. I got Terrance Crawford knocking out Canelo Alvarez by the 8th round. The way I see him doing it is he's just going to overwhelm him with the explosiveness and the cardio. Terrance Crawford never gets tired. He hits very hard. He's dangerous from the beginning to the end. Canelo's dangerous from the beginning to the end as well. But Crawford just has a little something, a little something different. When you see the way both of them train, they have a different approach. Canelo's training approach that I've seen so far is, a lot of bag work, a lot of sparring. It doesn't seem like he does as much strength and conditioning. Terrance Crawford, he does a lot of shadow boxing, a lot of sparring, a lot of high volume rounds on the bag. He has very interesting drills on the bag that, not many people are doing at all, and he does a lot of strength and conditioning. And you can tell he does just by the athleticism and the physicality he has. He has more physicality than a lot of boxers. Canelo is extremely skilled and very hard to hit, very slippery fighter. But Terrance Crawford is a faster fighter. He's a faster fighter. He's more explosive, in my opinion. He's more explosive. And I think this is going to be an incredible fight. I think this is really the best boxing fight you can make right now. This is like what Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, their fight should have been. I don't see a world where this fight is a boring fight. I don't think Terrance Crawford will allow it to be a boring fight. I don't think Canelo will allow it to be a boring fight. They both have a similar personality, and they're going to collide like this. I think it's going to be an incredible fight. But I think Terrance Crawford is going to come out on top. The way he did Earl Spence Jr., and he just went in there and just dominated him, had an incredible fight, incredible performance. Terrance Crawford's just on a different level. When you look at those performances he's had recently, and we look at Canelo's recent performances, I think Terrance Crawford just has a better. He's on the up. Canelo's on the up as well, but I don't really see him. I don't see him finishing Crawford. Yeah, man. I think Crawford, he goes out there, he wins this fight in impressive fashion. I think the body shots are going to really be a deciding factor in this fight. I think Bud's going to really go to the body heavily. I think that's how you break Canelo down a little bit more. Canelo has such good head movement and defense that I think you really have to go to his body a lot. And I think that's what Terrance Crawford is going to do. I think Terrance Crawford is going to go to the body heavily, and then he's going to go up to the head, you know. And we've seen it so many times in fight sports where the smaller man, you know, especially in striking, the smaller man does have a bit of an advantage because the smaller man is faster, you know. So in this type of matchup where the weight isn't like so much more, I'm going with Crawford. I think it's going to be a very impressive performance for Crawford, and I think it's going to be a shocking performance for many people to see. This is a great fight. You know, I'm very glad that Tariq is now in the sport, Tariq Al-Sheikh, and he's making these fights happen. He's forcing these fights to happen. You know, this is what Pacquiao and Mayweather should have been. It shouldn't have taken so long for those fights to come together and happen, you know. But I'm going with Terrance Crawford, and I think it's going to be an incredible, dominant performance by Crawford.